I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. I have traveled the world over, but never found a peace that comes from
Hey,
watching my fishes
Hey
as they
there.
swim about their home.
They put light on.
My heart is happy and I am
how's everybody doing
content
tonight?
to sit and watch them swim. I will not be alone
I'm
while
still
these
working on
fishes
recovering a
are
bad
in
trip
my
to the dentist,
home.
so
When the sunlight shines upon them
hey, that's good to hear
and
you're
their
doing well.
colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. Imagine scenes of beauty and
The
feel the
field
warmth of
of love.
love. I love
I
my
love my
little
little
fishes
fish
as they
as they
swim
swim
about
about
their
their
home.
home. Well, all right, all right, all right. Goodness sake. I've been sleeping. Dina's been suffering.
Yeah,
We're here.
hey, that's it. We still made it. That's what matters.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to get this link in. Hoo-ha. Need a minute. Huzzah. Huzzah. Hello,
That's it.
everybody. Who else here?
Ooh, we got
Who's
a bunch
here?
of people.
Indeed we do. Indeed we do. Let's see. Diane Altland's here. Psycho Plant Lady's here.
I made it.
Dracon, yeah, me too. Dracon Tosh. Kim Minnie. Chu. Rob. Peter J. Hello, Peter. Kim Minnie. Sailor Red. Nice to see you, Christian B. Michael Howard, Uprising 77. Rob Jonathan, House of Pisces. Sumu G. Let's give Sumu a wrench here. Doom Pie. All right, let's see. How do we do this? One more. All right. Let's see. We need to do live chat. We got the link up.
Yep.
Well, here we are, guys. We're on show and tell. La ti da. We're going to show everybody's tank off tonight.
Sounds like a good plan.
Oh, man. I came home around, I don't know what time. What time? A while ago. 4 o'clock, I think.
Mhm.
I did a consultation and then fell asleep sitting here. I woke up 2 minutes ago.
Hey, it happens.
And Jada's sitting there waiting for me. Boom Pie is finishing the water change. I wish I could show my tank. I haven't got it set up yet. Well, you'd show it not set up, I guess, if you have a mind to. Somo G. I did just gave you a wrench, didn't I? I think I did. All right. Oh, what's going on? Don't know. Saturday, Saturday the 6th, the 5th, the 5th. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday the 5th, I'm going to have me and my crew are going to be at the Keystone Clash.
Oh,
Here
cool.
we have a booth. We will have a booth. We're gonna have our product available with some special show deals. So everything will be discounted for the show. And we're just looking forward to meeting everybody. That'll be fun.
That will be.
Oh, this is tonight's show. It's a show that two or three, I think three different clubs put on in the Pennsylvania area. There are a lot of really good clubs in PA, really good clubs. So we're going to be there meeting and greeting everybody. That'll be great fun.
Yeah, well, I wish I could make it.
I do too. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
I was hoping to be able to, and it's the same day as the Heart Walk that we signed up for in gosh, I think it was March.
Oh
Because
wow.
my husband, the hospital he works at, he's one of the coaches for the Heart Walk for his team.
Oh gee.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a big deal.
Oh yeah, he's been doing fundraisers like crazy.
Well, nice. Jeroen, good evening, good evening. Jeroen needs to get a wrench here. What's going on? Let's see if I can do it.
Jonathan W says the White Cloud minnows are almost ready to ship if you're interested. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I got the bettas. Remember the
Oh,
tank
nice.
full of bettas? Oh, they are so nice. I was just really impressed. There's an amazing variety. Normally, when you breed two bettas together, all of the offspring look alike.
Mm-hmm.
This has tremendous variety in it.
Oh, that's nice.
Really kind of extraordinary. Who's this? Darbwire. Darbwire is here.
Hey.
Good. Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing all right. The
So, what do you
last days of
got?
summer here. This is a outdoor 20 long that I had set up and just threw some stuff in there. But I actually got a pretty good snail and scud culture going.
Nice.
And I wanted to find out what you recommend for the winter coming up, how to like winterize it, because I don't want everything to die and it freezes over, but I don't know if it will with the floating plants or what you recommend.
You're
So
in garage? What?
no, this is outside, so
Oh my. Where do you
yeah.
live?
This is Eastern Washington, so it gets down into the 20s, maybe the 10s here.
I would not leave it out.
Okay.
I really wouldn't. The problem is, I've had tanks break from ice, from freeze.
Gotcha.
It could
And the
just,
ground's not exactly flat.
Yeah. Yeah, drain it down. What size tank is it?
20 long.
Oh, well, that's not so bad. Drain it down to a couple inches and move it inside in a garage or, doesn't a mud room. Anything that's not likely to freeze or, get a little. Yeah, you're taking too big a risk leaving it out. If it were a pond, it'd be one thing. But with glass, it probably will break.
You don't think even like having styrofoam around it help, huh?
No, because that's really not going to hold the temperature in.
That's true.
You had a source of heat in it.
Yeah.
If you put a heater in it and did that, that would be one thing.
Yeah, I wonder how that. I wonder how we'd still have issues with potential crack if you have cold
You
air
could do
outside.
that. That would work. That would work. You could do that, and it would not break. In fact, if you put a heater in it and wrapped it in styrofoam, you would not have any trouble getting through the winter with it.
Okay.
That's doable. It doesn't have to be cold. It needs to be warm enough to not freeze. What do you have in it?
Yeah. It's just duckweed and pond gum muck, and I found out that I have blackworms somehow.
Oh, nice.
I don't know where they came from.
Well,
Blackworms and
can you hook a heater
and,
up to it and just sit and put it on the lowest setting?
Yeah, I got a plug right there, so it should be useful.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be warm, just above
Would
freeze.
you do just a regular like a pond heater or like a fish tank heater?
Fish tank heater's fine. Just doesn't need to be fancy.
The minimum.
Yeah, down like 40 or so, 50. 45, 50.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give it a shot. Thank you. All
You bet.
right. Have a good one.
Thanks, Starwater. Sailor Red is here.
Awesome.
Where'd he go? There he is.
There I am. Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Hey, I got to get out of here in just a little bit, but I was just kind of excited to see y'all having missed Sunday. But I really didn't want to show my fish tank tonight. My wife kind of went out of the way and let me decorate a little bit. Of course, she chose all the parts, so I just kind of wanted to show that off. So above my Father Fish tank here, we have more fish.
Oh, how nice!
And if you go around the room, there's a rather intimidating shark.
That shark.
There's some schooling critters.
Fishy yard.
Not sure what these are supposed to be, but they're fun.
Goldfish. Goldfish.
Then we have this. And we're not quite there yet. Hold on.
Oh, my.
They're all thin little metal things, and they're really sharp when they get pointy.
Huh.
And then back down around to
How nice.
where the angels live.
Very cool.
So anyhow, I mean, how good a woman to let you go all fishy and stuff.
Really? So you hung all the artwork? Is that what?
I have a huge yard. It beats me to death, but I still do it.
Good for you. That's fun.
All right. Well, hey, what's that?
Where do you live?
I'm in Western Kentucky.
Oh, really? I went to college in Barberville.
Barberville. That must be more central or something.
It's south central. It's where Corbin and Pineville.
Oh yeah, I've been to Corbin a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's the next town south of Corbin. Barberville.
I just really am in the middle of nowhere out here. It's hard to get in. My local fish shop is 26 miles.
Wow.
I live in the country.
So you're in bluegrass country.
That's pretty cool.
Have you ever actually seen bluegrass?
No, I don't think I have.
I don't think I have either.
It looks like regular grass that's had oil dumped on it. It's kind of blue, strangely.
Son of a gun.
That's pretty cool.
How about that?
Hey,
No,
the last time we spoke, I said I had something coming to you. I've been working on it. It's handmade. It's beautiful. You're going to love it. I've been slowed down by some personal stuff, but I'll get back to it soon.
Well, thank you so much. That's very kind.
Well, no, you've done wonders for me and everyone. How much money have I saved on chemicals by using this setup?
I know.
Holy smokes.
It's
Can we
amazing.
even count? All right.
Really.
Well,
I
hey,
feel you on that.
my wife is loading the truck. I have to go and help her.
All right. Good to talk to you. And
We'll see you on Sunday. Glad to talk to you.
you bet. Bye-bye. There he is. There he went. There he goes.
That was some pretty cool artwork.
Yeah. Tommy, Silver Creek, is making a big piece of artwork, custom design
Oh, wow.
for the Father Fish store, which we're enormously excited about.
Definitely.
I got a bit of a peek preview, and it's I don't know. He does a lot of really interesting stuff. This is more realistic. He does a lot of kind of solar architecture things. This is not like that. This is like a nature scene, a mountain creek scene. Really quite nice.
Sounds
We're
it.
excited about that. Got a big order of fish in today.
Oh,
I've been working on putting together a collection. I've got about 40 tanks, roughly, all different sizes. Been working on putting together a Father Fish collection of fish. I have about 25 small tanks, 10s and 20s. So I have to have little fish for them. And then I have 8 or 10 large tanks, 8 I think, that are 55 to 75 in that range. And I got one that's 125. I'm working on a 300. I have access to a 300. I'm hoping to be able to get it.
oh, that's gonna be fun.
That will be fun. And then I've got a pool that's about a 300-gallon pool, 3 or 4. So 10 foot diameter pool, about 2 foot tall. And that's got just oddball stuff in it. We got a call last night. Woman is manager of an apartment complex, kind of a mid-level apartment complex up in Princess Anne, or down in Princess Anne. They had somebody moved out and left a couple of fish tanks.
Oh, wow.
So, okay, yeah, we'll be down. We'll pick up the fish tanks. Well, Corey went there this morning. I told him if it was too much for you, call me and I'll come down. Bring Anthony and we'll move him out. Well, he called me. It's a 55 and a 29. So nice tanks with fish in them, full of water with fish.
Oh, wow. What kind of fish?
Mostly 2 foot long plecos.
Oh, wow.
And a bunch of I can't remember what those sternfish are called. I have to look them up. They're about 4 to 6 inches long. What in the world? I don't know. My brain's not working. One nice big golden gourami, about a 4 to 5 inch gourami, and a bunch of little stuff. So anyway, we went down and got all that, brought it back. Chris Downey literally got his Father Fish supplement in the mail today. Literally, he did. what he says.
That's awesome.
We need to give you a wrench, a literal wrench. Lee Wilcox is here. Hey, Lee, nice to see you. Stay up for a bit. Keep leaving comments on your live streams. Talking to Craig. Yeah, Craig's Catfish Cave. 3G, lurking and driving. Let's see. Who else is here? Cecil Mayberry. And Bear. And ZX9R. Cooking black pudding. Does anybody know what black pudding is?
No.
Is there, let me ask you a question. Is there ZX9, or is there a difference between black pudding and blood pudding, or are they the same thing? Alfredo Luna, followed your great idea putting plants, dirt, sand, but now what can I do with the green slime? Cut the light back and put some snails and algae eaters like ottos or pleco in there. Snails are good, they'll eat it. You got too much light, a little bit. Cut it back an hour or two. Matt CC3, AK Ideas, EI34. Is soil and sand good substrate for pond? Good question. I had that question came through today. Might have been from you. I don't know. You can do that. It's fine to do that. You're better off if it's an outdoor pond. You're better off putting 4 to 6 inches of sand in, just sand. And the reason is outdoor ponds get a tremendous amount of detritus and organic material. Leaves from trees are the big one, of course. Branches, dirt blows in. Everything imaginable will blow in. If it rains hard, it'll wash dirt into the pond. And all of that precipitates down into the sand. So you really need a deep sand bed. Don't even worry about putting dirt in there, because after a few months, it's going to have dirt in it. It'll just get in there all by itself. But the sand is critical, because the sand allows the dirt to precipitate and to be, in effect, removed from the water column. That was another issue that came up in a chat today. The difference between, somebody was saying there's no difference between gravel and sand. That you can raise fish just fine in gravel and raise fish just fine in sand. And while that's undoubtedly true, there is a world of difference between the two.
Oh yeah.
They're not comparable in the way they function in an aquarium. With gravel, you will need to do regular water changes. It will be critical, because the water will become as dense with organics as is the substrate, because it all bleeds into the water. Gravel cannot keep it out of the water, and if you have an under gravel filter, it's even worse, because it's literally pulling it's pulling the organic material through the sand and pushing it back out into the water column. So you wind up with a very dense, thick, organic laced water. Whereas with the sand bed, just the opposite happens. The organic material precipitates into the sand, does not get washed out, gets down in there an inch or so and can't get out. It stays in there. So the water column remains pretty pure for a very long time. Now, eventually, my theory is that eventually you need to clear it out. Mainly because what you're doing is getting an organic buildup. That's the issue with water, is organic buildup. In time, it happens no matter what. In a deep sand bed, it happens at a very incremental rate, to the point where it may not be a problem for a year or more. I tend to do about a 50% water change in this tank basically twice a year. In the meantime, I'm topping it off, but not doing a lot of topping off because I've got it covered pretty tight with glass, although it's down about half an inch. And it was filled maybe 2 months ago. So a half an inch in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. That's a lot. So it's nearly an inch a month. A little better than half an inch a month evaporation. Now I replace that and it's good to go. But I can get away with not doing it. But what I notice is that the fish become more lethargic. And the plants become more lethargic. Everything kind of slows down. And I think it's because the water is carrying too big a biological load. So by washing it out, you're performing the function of a flood.
That makes sense.
That washes it out and kind of brings it back to a more diluted kind of state. So that is to say about the whole issue of water changes, it's really not a matter of being able to maintain a pristine water condition permanently. I don't really believe that's possible. I mean, I suppose if you've had a lot of plant growth, which I certainly do, what else would you need to do? You would need probably a protein skimmer. Probably if you put a protein skimmer in there, that would probably do it. And of course, that's precisely why saltwater guys use protein skimmers, to pull all those organics out of the water. You could do that. I've never hooked up a protein skimmer to fresh. Well, I did once, and I was amazed how much it pulled out. So that would be a solution. And the protein skimmer is the easiest thing in the world to do. I mean, it's really extremely simple. You can do it with an air stone and a small container that has, you need to have a two-stage container. So you have the container that water's coming in, and then you have a smaller container inside that's sitting up slightly above the water level. And you put the air stone in the water part of it. And as it foams up, and the foam goes into the inner container. And then you periodically dump that out. And that's removing organic material that bubbles up. If you've ever spent any time at the sea or in a large body of water that has wind coming up on shore, you've seen foam, sea foam. That's what that is.
Oh, that's cool.
Precisely what that is. That's organic material that is being. What it does is it covers bubbles and causes bubbles, just like soap causes bubbles to be able to last longer. That's what the organics do. they cover the surface of the bubble, and they give it more permanence. They don't evaporate as quickly, and so they can get blown up on shore. Once they do, then eventually it'll dry out and just go into the sand. I really haven't done anything with it. That would be interesting, though, to try to come up with a very simple protein skimmer. I could hook one up here to this.
Yeah,
That would be really, I think I'll do that. That would be really interesting to see what happens and how that works. In a saltwater tank, a protein skimmer reduces the necessity for water changes by pulling organics out of the water. And that's why you do water changes, in order to remove organics from the water. It's not the water that's the problem, it's what's in the water that's the problem, but it's simpler just to remove some of the water and thereby removing some of the organics. And that kind of dilutes the whole thing when you put water in that does not have those organics. Pollutants, really, they're actually pollutants, which is precisely why, of course, in a very large tank with a bare bottom or a gravel bottom, it's absolutely critical to do water changes, because you're building up pollutants on a continuing basis by virtue of the organics building up. And it reaches a point where the biological system cannot sustain itself anymore, and it starts burning up oxygen at a rate faster than it can be replaced through O2 exchange. And that's when you have a cascade effect, and fish start dying because they suffocate literally. One dies, causes more bacteria, burns up more oxygen, the second dies, and then it just cascades, and you wind up with one fish left alive, because there's enough O2 exchange in the most polluted tank, virtually, not really literally, but typically, one fish left alive with enough oxygen exchange going on for him to be able to survive. And then if you catch it in time, you won't die. If you don't and you let it go, eventually he'll die too. Squeech is here. I love fish. I know, don't we all?
That's so true.
Don't we all? Jacques Cousteau Vinay needs a wrench. You got it. My eyes have been burning all day.
I hate that.
That's what AI is here. Which form of calcium and magnesium best used in a natural planet tank? Calcium, bone meal, magnesium, Epsom salts. Bone meal and Epsom salts in very, very tiny amounts. Parameters are always zero. Should I add more fish or feed more? I would say yes. And if you have the option of adding more fish, that's always the better option. Unless you have a tank that's a species tank and you've got a limited number of breeders in it, in which case you don't want to add fish to that. But you do want to feed them more heavily. Now you want to feed them natural organic food, live food, if at all possible. The simplest, there are two live foods. The all-time simplest fish food to feed. If they're large fish, go to Lowe's or food. Sam's Club. What am I thinking? I'm having a brain fart here.
It happens. It happens to all of us.
What's Walmart? Go to Walmart and go back into the sports department. They usually have a refrigerated case with fishing worms in it. Get a little container of fishing worms for a couple of bucks, either red wigglers or night crawlers. If they're big fish, night crawlers. Smaller fish, red wigglers. Now, don't put them in the tank whole. You want to break them up or cut them up into like 1 inch lengths if your fish are big enough to eat 1 inch of worm. And then feed that every couple of days. Or go to the supermarket, Walmart will do, and buy a bag of uncooked or half a pound of uncooked shrimp, preferably frozen. You buy a big bag of it, eat most of it, and save a few uncooked, leave them in the freezer, and then periodically cut off small pieces or use a paring knife and scrape it off. For tiny fish, just scrape some of the shrimp off. You can do that with fish as well. Works real well with shrimp. And then feed that. It's absolutely perfect fish food for all fish. And it's extremely inexpensive, and it's extremely high quality. And it's fresh. You're not feeding them something in a blister pack that's been sitting in that blister pack for a year or more. There's nothing fresh about the frozen food you buy in a fish store. It's extremely overpriced. It's typically freezer burned or at least stale. It's been sitting there for bloody ever, and the product in it is usually offal. If it says made from fish, it's going to be the waste from a fish processing plant that they buy. Omega is one of the rare exceptions. Omega actually has a fishing fleet where they catch fish and process it for their fish food. But typically, all of the other companies that provide fish food, they buy waste product from food manufacturing plants. Usually it's frozen or freeze dried, usually frozen. They boil it. They freeze dry it or otherwise desiccate it, process it, and it is part of the process, and package it. It's virtually worthless as in terms of its food value. Fish will eat it because fish will eat anything.
Right.
I mean, they will. They'll eat anything.
They really will.
They really will.
Some of that prepackaged food that I opened, I smelled it and I'm like, yeah, they'll eat anything. They don't care.
Oh yeah, it's rank. Very often it's rank. You don't notice it because it's in a tiny little portion. But if you will go to the supermarket and buy a whole fish, a little one, or shrimp, or oyster, or any other kind of seafood, anything, it doesn't matter. And freeze it and scrape it. That's the easiest way. You don't want it sitting in the fridge for a month. It'll go bad, but freeze it. And you can freeze it in water. Will help it to stay healthier, although it makes it a little harder to feed. Freeze it in like a sealed bag, like a Ziploc. So it's not being exposed to the air. It's not going to dry out, get freezer burn. And feed that. Do that routinely for a while and see if you don't notice the difference in the fish's health. It's remarkable. I don't do that here. I feed prime, which is powdered food. It's probably the best powdered food there is, but it's basically crap. No, actually, this is different. This is golden pearl. It's a larval food. Um, it's a extremely high quality food, but it's the same stuff. It's a dried, a cooked dried material. It's primarily shrimp, actually. So it ain't bad, but it doesn't hold a candle to real live or frozen shrimp. Try that. It's no more difficult than buying a can of food. It's very simple to do, gives you a more hands-on experience, is healthier for the fish. Try it. You'll like it. What do we got here? What are we promoting? Oh, here's something brand new. Can I get this up? Look at this, guys. A consultation with Father Fish. We put this up yesterday, and I've had 3 calls in 24 hours.
That's awesome. I'm getting the link now.
Yeah, 15-minute to half an hour calls. And basically, what I try to do is I try to get you over on Discord. You need to do 2 things. You need to get on Discord. That way I can look at your tank. And you need to sign up. You need to have an account in our store, in our Shopify store. So if you want to use this, we're happy to do it. What I recommend is that you call me, put the telephone number up on that, Dina. If you contact me by phone, I'm not always online. You can contact me DM on Discord, and I may not see it for hours. But if you call me, I will get that call. I always answer my phone, unless I don't have it with me or am on another call or doing something that does not allow me to break. But I'm better. It's easier to reach me, more dependable to reach me by phone. So call me on the phone and we'll arrange for a consultation. You'll need to do 2 things. If you want the consultation to be live, then you'll need to get on Discord. And you will also need to set up an account on Shopify. Now, if you don't know how to do that, I can walk you through it. But it takes time to do that. And I'd rather not charge you to help you get your account set up. It's basically $1 a minute. It's set up for a 10-minute session or a 15-minute session, but I can also do it by the minute. So if we're on for a half an hour, I will bill you. I'll send you an invoice. You can sign up for 10 or 15 minutes. Anything over that, I'll invoice you for the difference.
Did you want me to put the number in the chat, or because that won't let me add it to the card right this second?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So add it to the Shopify.
Oh yeah, I've got it on the Shopify.
Okay. Yeah, you can just pop it up. That's fine. Not a problem, and that's great fun. Particularly if you're new, and just have a million questions and really don't know what you're doing, I'll give you a good solid start. And I'll be available to you for follow-up. And you'll get some follow-up free unless it's a big long session. But if it's a big long session, I'm not going to charge you for a big long session. We'll just charge you for a piece of that. So I try to be flexible with people on this. So the 2 people I've had 2 people, one twice, one once. I think I I've spent about 45 minutes with each and charged half an hour. So you get, they got 50% of it free. But I'm happy to do that. And it really helps me out. I'm on the phone talking to people easily half a dozen times every day. And this provides a way to be able to subsidize it, to make a little money, and to try to keep this all of these balls afloat that I'm juggling. I do want to mention this again for those of you who don't understand what we're doing. We have a business selling plants. We make money at that. All of that money goes back into the business in the form of stipends and salaries for people working in either on Discord or on the book or in the store or maintaining the computer or whatever, or doing videos. We have 10 people now who we support on a continuing basis, who are making substantial contributions of their time and effort to the Father Fish enterprise. And I should say, not to brag, but to make clear, I do not derive income personally from any of this. I think the most I ever get paid is part of my rent, because it's partly business. But other than that, I don't take any money out of the business, not for personal purposes. I have a retirement that's adequate to meet my needs. Now, at such time as we become highly profitable, which we are not at this point, where we spend every penny we get on product and people. At such time as we become profitable, my goal is to have the business sufficiently organized that I can travel. I very, very much want to be able to get into Europe. I want to visit Maeve and Tisha and Tommy and Ed and just all of the friends I've made here, all over Europe and Great Britain. And then eventually I'd love to go to India, to visit Sri Lanka and India, to visit Karan, who is my editor, and to visit Sri Lanka, where Naresh lives, who's been a valuable part of this enterprise from the beginning. Naresh is working with a couple of people on Discord. He is converting videos into text, which we will then put through an AI AI machine, an AI system, in order to make Father Fish videos, and in order to have some kind of Father Fish Google system, Father Fish website where you can come and ask questions of Father Fish as an AI composite. That's going to happen. It's really very close. Going along with that, we're starting a brand new channel. We've had it for a while, but I haven't done anything with it. It's called Natural Aquariums. It is being done as a brand channel. So we're going to invite other channels to link up with us in this, which will give us a natural aquarium group of channels that you'll be able to get into and be able to share and just visit with all of the other creators who are active. People like Phillips Fish House and Tommy at Silver Creek and Patty and so many others who are working diligently on natural aquariums. So we want to provide a way to be able to support their channels and link them together. They'll be independent, but they'll also be linked. Will be linked together in order to be able to really expand them to make them much bigger channels. So that's all in the works, and it's closer than you think. I should also mention, while I'm on the subject, that we now have a commitment from the book team. The book is called The Natural Aquarium. It will be published by Thanksgiving electronically, and we hope to have some hard copy that we'll be able to sell to put under the Christmas tree.
That'll be nice.
So that would be very nice. I don't know that we're going to be able to pull off the hard copy by then, but if things come together and we have the time to be able to do it, we will do it. We're going to do it as soon as possible, and we want to get sales for the entire month of December. Starting on Black Friday, we're going to be live that weekend promoting the book on our new channel, the Natural Aquarium channel, and it'll be live pretty much the whole weekend. It'll be hours every day, promoting the book and selling the book. We'll be selling online. Selling a book online. It'll be a Kindle. We're pretty sure it's going to be a Kindle book. So if you have Kindle, it'll be easy to access that. You'll be able to get it through our store, through Father Fish Aquariums. And all of this is coming about by the end of the year. We're going to be there. So praise the Lord.
Amen to that.
After years of work, literally. Let's see, Mustafa. Maybe give Mustafa a wrench here. 3G. Doc Disguise. Hello. Oh, Jim's Fish. My fish loves salad shrimp. There you go, Jim's Fish. Now make sure they're not cooked. You don't want to cook it. I mean, you can, but it's better if it's not cooked. Raw fish is better. Raw shrimp is better than cooked. It has more food value. Fish will like it better. Somebody just came up.
Yep.
Oh, who is this? Benita Holzer.
Mhm.
Benita.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi. I talked to you last week. It's good to talk to you again. Hi, Dina.
Hey.
I thought
I
I'd
love
come
your
on and
birthday.
show you another one of my tanks.
Oh,
This is just a little one. We have little ones and big ones. And this, if you can see him, is my betta Ruffles.
Oh, he is beautiful.
And usually he's a ham and swimming, but not today.
Nice.
But this is a natural tank too. We've had him in here for a year. And I'm hoping one of these days we'll get him in a bigger tank. But right now he's kind of happy here. So, and he does have a friend, Dottie,
Oh, good.
which is a small Placo. So a little brown Placo.
He's a Dumbo.
He is a Dumbo.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And we call him Ruffles because of all the whiteness.
Really pretty fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are astounding, aren't they? Just amazingly.
They are. I go into the pet stores and I get so sad when I see them in the little cups. So I try to save one every now and then.
Yeah, it's sad that they do that. There's really no excuse for it. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're not motivated at all to keep their fish healthy.
No,
In fact,
they're not.
They make more money by selling sick fish than selling healthy fish. Because
Yeah.
if they can sell a sick fish, you're going to come back and buy medication.
Right.
That's it.
And when it dies, you're going to replace it. and buy more medication. I mean, it's a racket. It's a terrible, terrible racket.
It is. And we follow your method completely. No chemicals. The only thing we use is something to take the chlorine out of the water. That's it.
Oh, let me tell you something about that. We just finished a research project with our lab tech using vitamin C, ascorbic acid.
Mm-hmm.
It is magnificent.
And we have used it.
It removes 1,000 unit tablet, which is the standard size tablet, will remove the chlorine or chloramine from 200 gallons of water.
Oh, wow.
And to make matters even better, when it breaks down, it becomes a healthy organic supplement for the plants and the microfauna.
So it doesn't really matter that a little bit of residue gets in there.
Not at all. Not
Okay.
at all. It's beneficial.
So how do you use a 1,000 milligram or IUD tablet if you're not doing 200 gallons of water, if you're not conditioning 200 gallons of water?
Just use it.
Just use it? Okay.
It's not. It'll do up to that, but it has no negative effects on the water.
Okay. Because we have used it, and then I started getting concerned about the residue that was in the bottom, because we do 5 gallons at a time with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if my husband is using a 500 or a 1,000. But it does work.
It does, and it improves the quality. We tested it with a Daphnia culture.
Okay.
And tested it against chlorine and chloramine water. And it was instantly effective. Literally instantaneous. If you dissolve it before you put it in, you can dissolve it in warm water.
Okay.
Put it in. I have bought now a bag of powder, acetic acid powder, which I'm going to start selling it that way because it'll allow you to dose more accurately. And it'll also dissolve instantly. You put it in the water and just they're like salt crystals, but of course it's not a salt, it's an organic material. It's really an acid.
Okay.
And it breaks down chlorine, and the residue feeds the plants and feeds microfauna.
Okay, that's good to know. That makes me feel so much more comfortable about using it.
Yeah, it's organic. It's an organic material. So really exciting. We were delighted. We wanted to do that study. Nobody had done it. If you'll notice, though, most of the like prime, among other things, its primary active ingredient is vitamin C.
Oh, I never paid attention to that.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
They make millions on that.
Wow. Well, I guess we'll stop buying that and we'll switch back to vitamin C.
Yeah, it's totally effective, amazingly effective.
Okay.
I've even thought about using the crystals, giving it a different name and selling it as Father Fish's anti-chlorine tonic or something.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, you could.
Call it essential, or
yeah.
I can't call it primary. I'll get a strike if I do that.
Yeah.
Prime would not like that. Yeah,
no.
That's a wonderful tank. I love it.
Thank you. And I won't take up any of your time, but thanks for having me on, and I'll see you next Wednesday with another tank.
Very good, Venu. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the information.
You bet.
Bye, Father Fish. Bye, Dina.
Bye.
Nice.
Yes, she's got a beautiful betta. I
Yeah.
love those dumbos.
Ooh. So here's my plan.
Hmm.
I got a big order today. Got them all in tanks. Everything's looking pretty good. Um, Tomorrow I'm going to start filming every tank individually and show the fish that are in each tank. Now,
That's gonna be
there's some tanks I won't do that with. If I have a tank with just platies, then I probably won't. But I have a lot of tanks that are well planted with a variety of species of fish. So I'm going to start showing that off. And what we're going to call it Father Fish's collection of fishy friends.
that's gonna be cool.
Or words to that effect. That'll be our next video. So coming to you this week. And then the next phase of that, we've started doing food web. Oh dear. My I just messed up my speaker.
Oh no.
Yeah, the clamp popped off. Oh, I gotta put it back on. Hold on a minute. Oh dear.
Hey, it happens. This thing ends up attacking me, so I know how it goes.
Let's see. Oh Lord. What in the world?
Got in the chat.
There we go. You can move it down some. That might help.
Just catching up real quick, you guys. Airy first. No, this is not gin in the water bottle. It's water. The way my teeth feel, gin would probably help, but
Ugh. All right, I'm back together here more or less. Oh yeah. Oh dear. All right. Podcast with AI. How do you harden soft water for live bearers? Good question. Yeah, I've never had to do it.
yeah, me neither.
I've never lived anywhere that had soft water. Everywhere I've ever lived has had hard water. So how do you harden it? Well, you add minerals to it. The easiest way to do that is to add salt. And if you'll use natural sea salt, that has a wealth of minerals in it. It's not simply sodium chloride. You don't want to just put sodium chloride in there. You want a mineralized supplement. You can buy sea salt, the kind that they make for saltwater tanks. You can use that. You want small amounts. You don't want a lot. It's just really quite a small amount. For example, in water that's neutral with a hardness below 100, say, and some of it's way below 100. Well, let's just go to RO water. RO water or rainwater, which has virtually no hardness at all and has a pH that's neutral to acid. If you will add baking soda and sea salt in 5 gallons, a level teaspoon of baking soda, teaspoon, not tablespoon, and a rounded teaspoon of sea salt, that will buffer your water up to 7.5, and it will give you a hardness of about 200. if you have a hardness test kit, you can check it. It will not show up on a hydrometer. So there's no sense in even trying it. You would need a hardness test kit, but you don't really need it because you don't need to. It doesn't need to be accurate. If you do that, that'll be adequate. And then check the pH periodically to make sure it's staying up. The salt is going to help buffer it and keep it up. And the baking soda will bring it up and will act as a buffer to hold it. There are other things you can do. My substrate supplement contains 3 or 4 buffers. So that's something else you can do. You can add the substrate material to the substrate supplement to your substrate before you set the tank up, and that's going to buffer the water up. So there are a number of things you can do that are pretty simple and are not disruptive. They're not going to cause you to wind up with a brackish tank. You don't want so much that you're pushing the salinity level up. You don't want to do that. All you want to do is get some hardness in there in order to be able to primarily to maintain a stable pH. A hardness is not nearly the issue, as is the pH. So there is that. Frozen bloodworm smells like bad poo. Yeah, discovered. They cultured it in a pig. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is.
Cultured in pig poop. Yeah, probably. Bloodworm. Probably. Jim's Fish is here. Did I give him a wrench? I did. YouTube's slow getting to it. Let's see. Dot Disguise is here. Who else is here? Akbar Zeb. Serious stone makes water harder too. Absolutely right. You don't have to balance the salt. Yeah, there's serious stone. There are some other stones that you can add. As I say, it's something I've never had to do, so I really don't know. I don't have experience doing it. When I had my shop, I had a big RO system out of Maryland. It cranked out 400 gallons of RO water a day. That was its capacity. I never used that much. But I made RO water for the salt system because it allowed me to dose it with the prepared salt and have a very stable environment, know exactly where I was. So I wasn't putting it in with other hard water. And then I would take the wastewater from the RO system and save that and use it as the water for my freshwater system. So my freshwater system had very hard water. It was the wastewater, and that's exclusively what I used, was the wastewater from my RO for all of my freshwater tanks. Limestone raises it, yeah, and I use limestone as one of a number of buffers in my supplement. Using instant ocean for brine shrimp, that's good. But the amount that you add while feeding baby brine shrimp be enough salt? Probably not, because the brine shrimp don't contain salt. The only salt you get in there is what is attached to the surface, And if you're rinsing it before you're putting it in, then you're really not getting any salt at all. And of course, the fish are eating it, so it's becoming part of the organic foundation of the tank rather than you're really not adding salt to the tank by feeding brine shrimp. Sort of counterintuitive. You'd think you are, but you're really not. Dino Saw says you can buy buffers to target carbonate hardness, KH, or you can go natural and he says potent with sodium bicarb, but that drastically raises the pH if you don't have an opposite buffer. If you use it gingerly, it's not going to raise it that much. I mean, you could put a couple of tablespoons in and kick it up to 9 or 10, but that would be rather foolish to do. In a 50-gallon tank, no more than a level teaspoon in a 50-gallon tank is going to be more than adequate. It doesn't really take much at all.
I'm going to be right back. I'm going to apply some of that, more of that numbing medicine. My teeth are starting to act up again.
Okay. Okay. Dina's been fighting with the dentist for a while here and is really struggling. She, they had her in yesterday, the day before, I think, and just we're butchering her gums to the point where they're just sore and she's in pain constantly from it. So she has a medication they're able to put on it to control that. Kevin Satina says, I do it on my Tylomelania snails tanks. I just let it be an entry softener fish. Oh, he doesn't change the salt. Edward wrote, let's see, did I? How far is that? I think I gave you a wrench. No, it didn't. Okay, let me do that. And then I want to get Edward Rose. Why do you use the deep layered substrate? I have eels. Should I use 8 crate? Yeah, I don't think they will, but it's a good idea. Eels will get under about the top inch. You might add an extra inch of sand, but the 8 crate is a really good idea. I've not used it yet, and I've got at least one tank where I really need to. I'm kind of at a point where I don't want to break it down, but I may do that anyway. It turns out that geophagus are earth movers. I didn't realize how substantial it was. What's interesting, though, is that even though they're moving that sand around and getting down to the dirt layer, it is not affecting the water. And I've had this happen before. I had one fish years ago that it was a digging Central American cichlid, and it just dug into the substrate and just whirled it all up, made a mess. But most fish, like for example, the geophagus, they're doing it a mouthful at a time. The golden severum do that, a mouthful at a time. By doing that, they're really not creating, they're not bringing a volume of dirt into the tank. What little bit gets exposed immediately precipitates back down into it. So it rarely causes a problem. It will achieve a tannin condition pretty quickly. So you'll get discolored water from it, but you really don't get a big mold buildup from it. Okay, that was your break. Now I need one.
Okay, I got you covered.
Yeah, Ah. Ooh.
Let's see what we got in the comments.
I need to get some water too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the reason I'm drinking out of this bottle instead of my big cup. I can, second that cup touches my teeth, one slip. Yeah, no. Let's see what we got. How's everybody doing tonight? It is show and tell, so if anybody wants to come up and show off their tank, feel free to click the pin link and come on up. Already seen a few beautiful tanks this afternoon. Dan Pittman says my GH is now between 4 and 6. KH is a little lower. And the TDS is around 250. Let's see. Papa Carl says, anything I can do to stop a freshwater angelfish from giving me the side eye like he's plotting on me. Don't think you can get him to stop that. Well, we've actually got we got someone up. We've got Jacob Wade. Hey Jacob, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Hanging in there. Battling tooth pain, but I'll get through it. Tank's beautiful.
There you go. So it's actually been I've actually went back in my photos and looked, and I have a photo of when I first put this thing up, and there was like all sand, nothing grown, and this has actually been up for 4 months straight, and with no CO2, no nothing. This is actually amazing. Look,
Isn't
there's a
it?
little shrimp.
That's what I've always loved about the Father Fish method too. You don't have to have CO2. You don't have to have all the fancy
So
equipment
if you look,
and none of the chemicals, because a lot of those chemicals I have allergic
no,
reactions to.
oh, I actually stand by. You don't actually need none of that. Actually, nothing.
Right?
You actually need 5 systems, and most people think systems. People are talking about like mechanical, like filters, stuff like that. But the real true systems is understanding there's 5 of them, and that's what I've got now. I've got a true system. I've got 5 systems: your substrate, your water, your plants, your food, and um, there's 5 of them: food, water, plants, substrate. I think that's all 5 of them, yeah. And I've got it all, man.
Yeah, you got it set up really nice.
Oh, and they're getting big too. I watched her throw eggs on the glass earlier, but my swordtails ate all the eggs. They're getting big. And that hornwort, you wasn't joking about this. Look at that. That stuff's going crazy right here. It's like bushing out everywhere.
Oh, it'll go nuts in your tank. I mean, you'll have so much of it you won't know what to do with.
Yeah, and that's with and with 4 months. Um, Look at her. See how they're just chilling. Nothing is. That's really crazy. I haven't even with um any kind of bacterial problem. I have had nothing. Um,
Good.
I'm getting babies coming up. See, everything's pushing over, which is what I like. I'm glad that all my Vallisneria's coming over here. It's coming over here. It's throwing babies across here.
That's coming along great.
And when I first put the system up, I was a little skeptic of adding 5 fish that had ick, but I had trust and faith in the system that whatever I put in the system, that my system was able to cure and fight that whatever was going on, and be able to sustain itself from that point on, to not be able to be affected by that anymore, because it would overpower anything that would try to devastate it. It won't let that happen. I mean, Father Fish has proof. You have proof. I have proof. I mean, I don't understand why people people keep doing these incorrect tanks. I don't understand it. It's so simple. You actually do more when you got to maintain and take care and watch over every little thing that's happening inside that tank than to actually just do a little bit of study and learn what you're about to create. And then once you create it the proper way, which is what we've done and everybody has been trying to get out, which what the word is trying to get out for everybody to learn this system. Once you learn this is the best thing you could ever look at. I mean, I come in here daily and some people say, well, why you look at this so much? Because there's so much activity that I like to actually watch on a daily basis, just so I'm physically seeing that. I mean, I can go unnoticed on it, but I like to actually see everything continue on a daily basis. It amazes me how nothing, I mean nothing is crashing. I
Yeah, it is
haven't tested no
amazing.
water because you don't need to test that. And then anything that I put in my tank, it's really crazy. They don't freak out. They don't go crazy like they used to. Even my break-in cycle, I had within the first 24 hours, um, everything was pretty much okay. Within the 48 hours, everything was maintained to the point where everything was pretty much stabilized, that they were okay. But before, man, I'd fight with them, always glass surfing, going crazy for at least 4 or 5 days, and then I'd end up getting them out of my tank because it'd drive me crazy worrying about something that. And I just got to the point where, because the system, I almost didn't believe this system at the beginning, but I stuck
Yeah,
with
no,
And
it
I
because
love
Jacob,
it.
you've had your 10 minutes. We appreciate it. You are a constant source of support and enthusiasm about this system, and
oh,
you're really proving it. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you
We
are.
need to move on. We got some other stuff we got to do. Look at that. Yeah, your tank's doing great. Just great. Proud of you.
that's with no CO2. I guarantee you, without no testing, my tank is sustaining within the limits of 9 to 12 parts per million of natural oxygen. I guarantee it. The way that it's functioning, I'm having so much growth. This is ridiculous. I
There he
mean, this,
goes, folks. He could go on like this for hour after hour after hour.
That's a
This
lot of
man is
passion.
totally enthused about his natural substrate tank. We're going to cut you off. So nice, Jacob. Thank you.
You guys have a good one.
Bye
You
for
too,
now.
Jacob. Bye.
Sarasota County. Hello.
This is an emergency message. Hurricane Helene impacts, including damaging wind
Oh,
and
yeah,
storm surge,
hurricane
are
in
forecast
Florida.
to arrive in the next
Yeah.
24 hours. Evacuations are issued for Level A, manufactured homes, mobile homes, boats, and areas near Hatchet, Forked, and Curry Creeks. Follow evacuation orders. Leave now. Follow Answer County Gov on social media for updates. Press 2 to replay this message. To
Wow.
unsubscribe from future phone
There's
notifications,
a pretty big storm
There you
coming in.
go.
press 0.
Sarasota County.
Yeah, my nephew and his wife, they're already making it down my way where it's a little bit safer over near
Get out
Jacksonville.
while the getting is good. Yep.
That's it.
Well, they got hit hard 2 years ago.
Mm,
Real hard. So they're not playing around with it
I don't blame them.
anymore. I lived in Florida for 30 years. We never had one bad storm where I was living. A month after I left, the whole area was decimated by a storm. The roof was turned off the house I was living in. I had three
Wow.
friends whose homes were completely destroyed.
Mm.
It was devastating, just really devastating.
knock on wood, the area that I live, we haven't had any really bad storms in my lifetime because I've lived here 30 something years and we haven't really had anything more than uprooted trees.
Yeah, you're not on the coast either. That makes a difference.
Yeah, the coast, they get hit hard.
Adam Armbruster is making all kind of comments here. Storm warning, yeah. Yeah, Adam's right there.
Hmm.
He's right there in the middle of it.
Yeah, stay safe, Adam.
Darius Kondsandrovich. Need to give Darius a wrench. Adam says doing nothing is hard. Yeah, if your life is one of doing, then not being able to do really is hard. It teaches you to become a monk, to learn to meditate, to learn to simply be in your at one with your fish tank.
You have
It
to make a
opens-
fish tank meditation.
Yeah, it opens you to the spiritual level, really, of fish
Absolutely.
keeping. And too many of us never really get there. We know it's there. We want to be there, but we're so panicked by this thing and by stuff going wrong. We're forever trying to play catch up and trying to fix and all this. By doing these natural tanks, it takes all of that away. Every bit of it is gone. And you're sitting there looking at this incredible environment that's just being created in the tank and wondering, but I don't have anything to do. I need to do. And then
Right.
you get to realize you don't need to do anything. You need to appreciate what's going on. And that's an emotional and psychological and mental and spiritual experience. So when you can finally allow yourself to participate on that level, it becomes enormously heartening. You find a wellspring of joy and satisfaction, peace and understanding. Suddenly this is the sign in the sign language. It's like everything goes down. It all gets quiet. It's a sign for quiet. It all sort of goes away. And you're left relaxed and open and sensitive and aware, and understanding begins, and you just are able to move into that kind of mentality. It is why we do this, but actually getting there has been the real challenge, and we've taken away that challenge now and made it possible to have that level of experience that everyone gets a fish tank to have. You see a tank for the first time and your mouth drops open, or it doesn't and you just go on your way. But for those of you who are touched deeply by it, it's a profound experience.
Yeah, it is.
It's one that draws you in to wanting to be a part of something that is going on, something natural, and to understand it and to be able to kind of get your head into it. And that's really what we're doing. That's really the bottom line. I remember way back when, years ago, I was contacted by, where in the world was it? Oh, here's Jeroen. I didn't get Jeroen. Need to give Jerome a wrench.
Oh, Erie First has a question. Have you ever heard or seen of an albino cherry barb turning gold? It's perfectly healthy thing.
Albino cherry barb turning gold.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't.
Hum. Yeah, I think so. I think that's kind of a natural. Lee Wilcox, it was. Lee, I remember Lee was, he had a big fancy goldfish, a beautiful goldfish, and it was not doing well. And he was casting about trying to get help, sending out messages everywhere. One of them landed on my doorstep. And I responded to him. And I was doing a lot of live streams at the time. This was 4 to 5 years ago. And we got him some help. Precious Tranquility got involved with it and helped teach him how to take care of the goldfish. And he had built a tank with dirt. He had a Wallstead tank, built it with dirt, but it wasn't doing well. And I had him put an inch of sand on top of it, or two. And he contacted me and he said, "Look, I'm very upset because I sit in front of this tank and I can't do anything. I'm used to having my hands in it, used to fixing it all the time, used to taking care of it. There's nothing to do." And I said, now, Lee, you've come to the place where you can begin to be a master aquarist, where you can begin to meditate on that tank, to understand what's happening, to develop your awareness of it and your understanding of it, and begin to really mature in your appreciation of nature in that aquarium. And it was, we joked around about it a lot, but that's exactly right. And that's exactly what happens to people who have been struggling to try to keep fish alive. And then all of a sudden they discovered this system, they put it in place, and it works. It's like a miracle.
Right.
Yeah, the only thing miraculous about it is that it took so long to get there.
Yeah.
To do what is utterly natural to do. There's nothing about this system that is hard to understand, complicated, or varies in any way at all from a natural environment. Nothing. It is precisely what's going on in every single body of water, fresh water, every single body of fresh water on Earth. It's all a layer of dirt. It's sitting on top of rock with sand on top of it. Now, if it's in a pond or a lake, it's probably going to have mud because it'll have a lot of detritus sifting down into it. But I guarantee you it's going through sand and getting down into a deeper level. In a creek, it is sand and it is dirt in the sand under it all the way down to bedrock. That's what it is. And that's what we're doing. The bedrock is the glass frame of the tank. It is a replica of the natural environment, as close as we can possibly get it. And it keeps fish healthy, happy, and alive.
Yeah, it does.
With virtually no effort. I've set up these 40 tanks in my shop. I walk around and look at them. They've been set up now for a month or so. I'm amazed at how stable they are, at how
Yeah.
healthy the fish are in them. No disease. I've had a little bit of fungus. I've had some ick, both of which were treated and dealt with. I did have a heater go up today, which pushed the tank up to 100. That was the
Ooh.
cube, the small cube. Killed a bunch of fish. Not everything, fortunately. I had a lot of fish in there. I'd already taken out most of the really stuff I was concerned about. But other than that occasional malfunction of equipment, and that's the worst of it. I've had 2 heaters go out. The other one quit on off. That one quit on. That one cooked. The other one just let the water get cold. And I put a bunch of. I got a bag full of scarlet bettas today. Dumped them in that tank before I realized it was cold, 72. So they should be okay. We got a new heater in. We'll get it cranked back up. I probably ought to go over there tonight and make sure it's not cranked too high.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just impressed with how healthy everything is, how stable everything is. It's just really kind of remarkable.
Yeah, it is. And I feel the same way with my tanks. I don't have 40, but I've got quite a few now. And all I have to do is just top up the water. I haven't had any problem.
Uprising wants to know if we delivered to the UK. We do have a UK supplier who's doing Substrate, or at least is doing the supplement. I don't know what else she's doing, but I know she's doing that.
Yeah.
So we have the supplement available in the UK. If you will go on fatherfish.fish, fatherfish.fish, and then you can scroll down to her link, or you can click on the store, and that'll take you to the link for all of our suppliers. We have suppliers now in 6 countries. Brazil, Australia, Canada, Great Britain. Where's the newest one? Malaysia.
I think
And where else?
Africa. I can't remember if it's South Africa.
South Africa, that's right. South Africa. Yeah. So, what time is it?
It is
34. We got half an hour. I was thinking of something while I was on my little break there.
Yeah.
Tips and tricks. Tips and tricks. One of the things that we do here, every single video, every live stream, its greatest value is that it's loaded with tips and tricks.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Yeah,
100 things that come up every video, 100 different tips and tricks. I mean, it is a source of information like nothing else that's going on. We're not chatting about sports or each other or whatever. We're talking fish, unless they get into some kind of rant. And usually the rant is related to nature in one way or another. It may come off as political, but that's not because it is. It's just because politicians, are trying to capitalize on the natural world, if you will.
Right. That's so true.
Masonry block and stone veneer. Tub ponds. Nice. How do I increase my general hardness? Yeah, we did that, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
I'm way back here. Adam is building a pond with a waterfall. That should be
That's gonna be
exciting.
cool.
It sounds like Peter is too. Squeech. V-Shock. I'm just checking to make sure everybody's got wrenches. All the new folks. Jim's Fish. Yeah.
Actually, Yo-Yo's got a question. Will aqua soil with sand layer work?
It will. It's it's not going to last real long because it's basically impregnated mineral, impregnated with fertilizer essentially. So eventually that's going to get depleted. It will deplete. If you can mix it, if you want to use it, mix it with the supplement, and that'll give it some longevity. But it's not as good as the soil that we manufacture, which contains peat and organic material, compost, and soil, actual soil,
Definitely.
along with the supplement material, which is now up to 13 ingredients. The most recent of which we have the black earth, the South American black earth in it. We also have leonardite, and leonardite has uranium in it, naturally occurring uranium. It's an ancient, it's mineral content that's mined from an ancient volcano, I think in Utah. It's only one place it's available from, but it has kind of taken the gardening market by storm. So we've adopted it and added it to our supplement. Erie First is here, the King of Ireland. Fancy that. Uprising is leaving. Good night. Good night. It's 2 o'clock in the morning for these guys.
Yeah, it's pretty early in the morning.
Rocket, rocket. How much should I sail a bull-faced 100 tank when you stand? I don't understand. How much should I sail a bull-face 100 tank when you stand? How much should I pay for a 100-gallon tank? 100 liter or 100 gallon? Don't know, Rocket Rocket. We need more information. Somebody just came up. It is Rasta Joy. Hey there.
Hey,
Well, on, people, how you doing today?
doing good. How are you?
Very, very well. I'm trying to figure out how to make my camera so it'll go the other way so I can show you guys everything. I might just have to flip my screen here.
You might be able to do it like that.
Maybe like.
It might go into landscape that way.
No, that's not. I'm better with animals than technology. But I'll show you guys. So we are the largest animal rescue in southwestern Ontario. We're in Canada. We take reptile, amphibians, arthropods, crustaceans. So we run bioactive tanks for all that setup. So everything's got bugs, everything's got live plants. Pretty much the Wallstead, the Father Fish method, but we've applied that to terrestrial animals. Now we do have we got a paludarium, and I actually just made a little aquarium out of a coffee pot. So I'm going to show y'all now.
Sure.
See if I can see there. Let's see if I can aim it up right. So there's a ton of plants in here.
Wow.
I used soil, and then for this one, instead of capping with sand, I actually used 4 inches of live seashell, and it is done amazing. I don't run filters. I don't run pumps. There's no circulation. There's no light. There's no anything. A person living in the middle of the bush could do this.
Wow. Nice.
And that's a riparium. So this has 2 species. We have ram's horn snails in here. And then we also have some tadpoles we recently rescued from a ditch pond. It was evaporating. The sun has been really heavy. The summers run late here in Canada. And I guarantee all the water would have dried up. So we had no choice. We had to go and save them. And alongside it, we got some daphnia. We got some paramecium. We also got some little nearite snails too, which was very cool. I'm gonna show y'all the paludarium now. Now, for all the viewers unfamiliar, a paludarium is when you combine a terrarium. So it's like what we have Steve the snake in here, and he's a spider morph ball python. So that's land, and then we take the aquatic. So the paludarium is a combination of both, and I'll show y'all this now. See how I can kind of. And we run a lot of tanks, and in this we actually co-had multiple species. So we have blue rim horn snail. We've got tadpoles in here. We've got some daphnia running around. Some planaria, and you might be able to see them. It's kind of tricky, but right here, let's lift this up. There's Rohan, the red claw crab, and this is a brackish paludarium, which they say you can't run freshwater in. But as Father Fish has taught me, animals are very hardy. So in this brackish paludarium, we have some freshwater, we have some saltwater, and we have brackish water animals, and they're all thriving.
Nice.
And then the last one is the coffee pot aquarium that we made. This is a freshwater setup. And we're discovering, we just found another tadpole in here we didn't even know existed. And for this one, we used some soil, just a very minute amount. And then we used shell, and we actually have coral in this one too. And we've got some live coral. And same thing, they say they can't perform at a salt, but this is freshwater, and they are thriving. We've got live plants. And I use aquatic and terrestrial plants. A lot of people say you can't put land plants in an aquarium, but you just have to test and find the ones that will.
That's it. You just gotta test them out and
Wonderful, Rasta. That's amazing. Very impressive.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed Father Fish. I've been watching you for a few weeks now. You've actually inspired my aquatic journey. When we started, it was all terrestrial creatures. We got snakes, fancy crested geckos. We have leopard geckos, cappuccino crusty, translucent bearded dragon, all kinds of crazy things.
I'm really excited about that. Yeah. I've been wanting to do that because the soil that we manufacture lends itself perfectly to reptile substrate.
Yeah, I think too for arthropods, even giant millipedes, things like tarantula, scorpion, things of that nature. I would definitely recommend that you get some reptiles going. I've seen in some of your videos you had amphibians, and with what you do for your fish, oh my gosh, I could only imagine the quality of life for your reptiles. Soon you'll be father animal. You'll have a little bit of everything.
Right, right. Yeah, we want to be promoting that. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. It was a wonderful opportunity to meet y'all once again. Huge fan, and I can't wait to see you again. Until then, God bless and have a lovely day.
Thank you. Do post your link on the in the chat, please.
Okay. Yeah, you can go to the community page. We don't have any videos up yet, but we have images of all our little babies and their setups and everything. We're not videos.
Get the link up. We'll be happy to support you.
All right, Father, you got it. Till then, stay blessed. May Jah warm your hearts, and y'all take care, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye, Rasta.
Bye-bye.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been kind of on that lately, just realizing what an important product we have for the reptile industry.
Oh, yeah.
And for terrarium culture, atrium culture, even birds. You know, it's really a wonderful product. As well as gardening. For gardening, specialty gardening. Yeah. Like for example, orchids, orchid culture, violet culture. It's perfect for those kinds of environments. Rainy, we got about 10 minutes left. Who else is here? Let's see. We get to the bottom. Arm Brewster. Rust. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Father has Aries. Ross, the reptile rescue. Have you heard of anyone using multivitamin in an aquarium substrate? Yeah, I have. I haven't gotten into it because multivitamins or any kind of vitamins that you buy are like 99% filler, 1% active ingredient, and it's probably actually less than that. So I just haven't wanted to deal with it. And what I'm a firm believer that organic material contains vitamins. It contains vitamins in a
It makes
natural
sense.
form that are actually more easily taken up by organisms than the manufactured tablets and pills that
Hmm.
the body, I've heard, can't tell the difference, but the heart can.
Right?
Dylan Brown is here, but he does not have a camera or a microphone. So we're gonna wait until he gets up. There he is. Dylan,
What's up, guys? How are y'all?
how are
How are you
you?
guys? I'm good. You guys?
Doing
Yeah, I
in
was
there.
just kind of showing the tank. My cooler kind of show it. We got a lot of glass serving. I'm not really sure what's going on. He's been doing that for a while, and then obviously all my guppies and stuff. There's so many plants in here now that I kind of gotta go from another
Right.
angle. Now, I was working on floaters. I took my sponge filter and the everything out of it, except for my hang on back. But so because there's so much water movement that my red root floaters and stuff were kind of having trouble. So it kind of seemed to help with that. I know you said you wanted some more plants in here, so yep. I mean,
Yeah, looking good.
over here. And I got some floaters going on up here.
Uh-huh. What kind of fish do you have?
He's a betta.
Okay.
He's back there. Yeah, I keep having trouble with jumping. So I was hoping that floaters would
Yeah,
help.
you need to cap it. Put a lid on it.
Yeah, he's back there.
Yeah, it's looking good. That's a cool Halloween sculpture. That's pretty neat.
That's from Beetlejuice.
That's cool.
And I actually have one more tank to show you guys.
Good.
This is a baby tank. I'm only keeping guppies and baby mollies and stuff like that in here.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
So obviously all I have in here is sand. I'm going to float everything. I got that piece of pipe in there just for, fill the tank. But there's a lot.
Nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're
There's a lot of babies in there.
Oh yeah, like they're everywhere. And if you come up top, I got floaters going in there. And
Yes, coming along great.
Yeah, I'm supportive. I like
thank
it.
you guys. Yeah, I'm working on them. It's just kind of like waiting at this point. I got everything set up. I'm just kind of sitting back, really. Okay, so one of the things I was going to ask about, and I know you talk about overfeeding a lot. I'm trying not to overfeed, and I actually was fasting for a second. And in that time that I was fasting, I had like ammonia spikes and stuff like crazy.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what was going on. I did find dead snails, so I could probably be it. But
Yeah, dead snail might be it.
yeah, I think it was like 3 of them that had
Oh
died.
yeah.
Yeah. I ended up taking them out, but yeah. Hopefully. Oof. All right. Well.
It looks like you got plenty of babies in there.
Yeah, I counted them at one point, and it's really hard to, but I think I counted like 50 something, and that's just in that tank. What I did in this one is I took out the females, and I'm putting male guppies in here, so it's strictly males in here.
Oh,
Um,
that'll work.
yeah, well, because it's kind of complicated when you get to females and everything, because like I can have males and females, but I gotta like have the numbers and stuff right. If not, my females kind of get
Yeah, they'll get stressed out.
yeah. So like all those are males. I
We
kind of
got
want to rearrange. Second, I kind of want to rearrange these plants so I can actually see in here because I have a lot of space back here. But like the plants are overgrowing. So I actually like the look of the jungle.
Yeah, I like the jungle look.
It's really good. Anyways, I'm probably gonna get off here, guys. I gotta go to bed. I got work tomorrow.
Thank you, Dylan.
Yeah, but thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
coming up.
Yep.
Take care. Bye for
It's,
now.
Okay.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kevin, good. Yeah, I don't understand what she's talking about. There was a comment earlier, I think, in Discord about that. And I mean, I understand the language. I don't understand what's happening. I don't get what the curve is and what the flat is. It's somehow not coming through to me. So if you could help, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Kevin. Foreign substrate, lots of rotten water. Yeah, absolutely, Yo-Yo. Absolutely. That's what I replied to earlier. Let's see, Luz, do you have a wrench?
Actually, Victor C's got a question for you, Father Fish.
Sure, go
Are
ahead.
are you a fan of Jacques Cousteau, the ocean photographer?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Um, one of the men that traveled with Cousteau, he was an early diver, one of the earliest divers who traveled the world diving and did research in many different waters, many different countries. One of the men who dove with him, whose name I don't remember, retired to Cayman, to Grand Cayman, and opened a dive shop. And that's where I was certified with him. So I was certified as a Cousteau diver, which is
Wow.
pretty cool stuff. It
That
doesn't mean
is.
I'm a great diver, but it's
Yeah.
it's a link that is just very, very cool. He was in his 80s at the time, and a wizened, gnarled waterman, just like Cousteau. There is a negative story about Cousteau, and I should tell it. He went at one point to Haiti. When he would go to a country, he would ask the country to support his research. And typically they were happy to do it because it meant that he was going to publish a book and was going to promote their aquatic environment, their sea environment. So it was kind of a big deal. Haiti did not have the resources to do it.
Yeah.
And he was put off by that. So he did a hit piece on the inner harbor in Haiti, which is a sludge mire.
Oh,
It's
wow.
a dump. It's a cesspool. But you get outside of that, and the water surrounding the island and the adjacent islands are some of the most pristine, native, natural coral reef systems in the world, certainly in the Caribbean. So much so that the U.S. Coast Guard protects certain of those islands off the southwest coast of Haiti from any kind of visitor. They won't let anybody near it. It's a World Heritage Site because of its purity. Now, I got to dive in that, and I found it completely unique. In most places where there are coral reefs, they will be caverns and mountains and valleys and structure that just kind of goes on. Haiti is not like that at all. Haiti's coral reefs are totally different. They are mounds. They're basically small mountains that are separated on a vast plain from each other, which makes it an absolutely remarkable experience with all of the fauna that one would expect in such a native environment. So I just found that interesting. I dove there for a couple of years and very, very much enjoyed it. It was really not the nicest diving because the variety was not there. The variation in the topography. There was a sameness about the topography, much as some of the topographical diving environments in the China Sea and in Indonesia that are essentially flat plains, but with a Florida and a fauna that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. Just really, really remarkable.
That had to be so amazing to see. Victor C wants to know if it was Frederick Dumas, the primary support diver for Cousteau. Maybe it was him that.
Dumas? Yeah, I don't know. I could probably go back and look. I've got his book here. Oh dear. Jacques Cousteau, The Ocean World.
Oh wow.
Which is a big, thick tome. I'll have to get into it. It may cover. Here it is. Change the world or change yourself. There you go.
Right?
Invisible messages. The art of motion. Oh, here we go. They're in the Antarctic. They literally traveled the world and did bathyscope diving, just everything imaginable. Just utterly remarkable.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I need to get
it's
into it.
amazing to do something like that.
Yeah, I need to get into this. Yeah. It turns out that there is a market here where I live for aquarium maintenance.
Oh, now that's cool.
I was talking with Corey about it today. So we're going to look at getting into that. There's a very interesting region, community. There is substantial wealth in this area, and by that I mean thousands of millionaires and billionaires, thousands of very wealthy people who live very quiet lives in magnificent homes that are hidden away in forests and on beachfronts. I saw last week, we went out 2 weeks ago, went out in the boat and saw one of the largest homes on the eastern shore. It's 40,000 square feet.
Wow.
An immense home built as a French villa right on the water. Amazing place. And here's the thing, all of these homes have major fish tanks in them, and they usually are rather substantial. They're big, they're usually saltwater, and usually are the $1 million installation. So I don't know that I want to get into that level particularly,
There
because
could definitely be a lot of sales
not
there,
what
though.
I'm really interested in. But what I am interested in is being able to get into those kinds of homes and help them set up a 1, 2, 3, 400 gallon natural environment.
Yeah.
You know, with both salt and fresh, or salt and fresh, but primarily freshwater. There isn't nearly the awareness of the beauty and the spectacle of freshwater aquariums as there is of coral reef systems. I saw a coral reef tank today at a pizza restaurant here in Salisbury. It's a 200 gallon tank, been set up 15, 20 years, absolutely full of coral. One of the prettiest, most beautiful coral reef systems I've ever seen. Not a lot of variety, but some. I mean, there were probably half a dozen salties and half a dozen stony corals in there, half a dozen fish, not a lot of fish, but just a beautiful, beautiful aquarium, extremely healthy, that, you know, was just very, very impressive. So I'm interested in getting into more of that and seeing more of that. The trick for me now is becoming known in the community, and there's no easy way to do that. So I don't know what we're going to have to do to achieve that. Maybe, you know, get the local newspaper or TV station.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
It's on their store, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason I want to get that video done today, so I can begin promoting the collections that we have, because this is going to be one of the most unique collections of fish, freshwater fish, that anyone has anywhere, particularly for small fish. It's not a big fish collection, it's a small fish collection. As we get big tanks, we'll put big fish in them. I've got a line right now on a 10-foot tank that I'm hoping to get, that'll go in a part of the facility that will where we'll be able to line up a number of big things like that. So all of that is to say, thank you very much for sharing with us and being here. It's been a joy being with everybody. We've had another wonderful evening. We have a lot of those.
Yeah, we do.
And let's see, we're gonna sing our way off, check out our store,
as they
Come on
swim
back
about
next
their
Sunday.
home.
We'll be here at 6
When the
o'clock on
sunlight
Sunday.
shines
Thank you,
upon
Dina, for
and
everything.
their
You're
colors
Hey,
begin
thank
to
you, Father
boy.
Fish,
glow
for everything.
and drawn
That
into a
appreciate all your
world
support.
where my heart
Hey,
longs
thank
to
And
you.
love you
go.
all.
I
Love you
imagine
guys.
Love you all.
scenes of
Bye
beauty
for now.
and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. I have traveled the world over, but never found a peace that comes from watching my fishies as they swim about their home. My heart is happy and I am content to sit and watch them swim. I will not be alone while these fishies are in my home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home.